Okay, in this part of the compass, we're going to be talking about the differentiating factor. The differentiating factor is a summary of the one thing that your client has that nobody else in the industry or that their competition can say that they have as well. A few examples of this: T-Mobile, the only cell phone company that doesn't tie you down. Chipotle is the only fast food Mexican chain with quality and local ingredients. Dollar Shave Club is the first subscription-based solution for everyone. And Trader Joe's offers unique and affordable groceries. So you can see that these are the things that these companies really own that they direct most of their marketing, their messaging, and their branding towards this one thing. So why is this differentiating factor even important? Without your clients knowing what it is that really differentiates them from others, of course they're not going to be differentiated, but they're going to tend to lose sight of what really makes them unique as a company. And they're just going to start to look like everybody else because they're not going to make decisions that really focus in on this. So how to create the differentiating factor. Now, if you remember this part of the strategy session, the how do they find and engage with you, you're going to get some really great pieces of gold in here that you can bring in and potentially be the differentiating factor. And sometimes this section as well, what makes them a buying fan, because in this part of the strategy session, you're really talking about why is it that people hire you over others? And so you're getting lots of great ideas from your client. So once you have a good idea of what it is from the strategy session, you're going to want to narrow that down to 2 to 3. After you've narrowed it down, what you're going to do is you're going to go to do the competitor analysis and you're going to verify, yes, these are the things that only my client has. And as you're doing the competitor analysis, you'll hopefully be able to narrow it down to just one thing. Another thing, if you're struggling to narrow it down between which ones you should go with, you should consider maybe some less obvious and intangible possibilities for the differentiating factor, because the more intangible that you go with, actually better it is, because it's a lot more clear and it gives your client, again, more room to grow. So if you have an option on there that's a little bit less tangible, I would definitely go with that one. For example, like I have here, the only smart coffee company. So when you're considering the differentiating statement as well, customers are going to be able to tell if you're exaggerating the differentiating statement. Like for this example, I have, we're the only company in the world that sells quality leather shoes. Like that's just not true. Even if it's just a little bit BS-y, customers are going to be able to see right through it, and they're just going to automatically distrust everything that you say after that. So you want to make sure that whatever you're putting in the differentiating statement, if you're saying only, if you're saying anything related to the demographic, like we're the only person in the world or the area, whatever, you want to make sure it's 100% true, because even that smidgen is going to kill your client's business. So what's the one thing also that affects several different aspects of the business and is relevant? As you're going through that list that you have, if there's some of those things that only apply to maybe the product but not the experience, then maybe you should get rid of that one and you should focus on a different differentiating statement. Now that you've decided on what the differentiating statement is, you're going to get into what actually writing the differentiating statement. You're going to start off by just really clearly identifying what it is in 1 or 2 sentences. You are the only company that blah, 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 blah. Next, you're going to go, and this is the most important part of the differentiating statement, you're going to write a quick little paragraph about why that differentiating factor is so important to the customer and how it's going to help them solve problems. You're going to want to go back into what the persona's problems are, and you're going to want to say, hey, it's going to solve this problem, it's going to solve this problem, it's going to solve this problem, it's going to make us feel like this. Link it to as many solutions as you possibly can. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to test your differentiating statement now that you've got it all written out. Could your competitors use the exact same differentiating statement? Could anybody else use this statement? If they can, you don't want to go with it. Is this something that is really relevant and important to your clients' customers? Is it something that they even care about? If you're a shoe company and your whole differentiating statement is about shoelaces, that's probably not going to be really relevant to a shoe company nor someone who is trying to look for shoes. Is this something that can withstand years of business without needing to be changed? Make sure you check all of those off of your list before moving on. Okay, let's just quickly overview how to create the differentiating statement. One is you're going to pull from the strategy session those highlighted key areas in those 2 columns that I showed you. Next is you're going to confirm with competitors that what you have really is unique. You're going to consider less obvious and less tangible choices. You are not going to exaggerate when you're creating the mission statement. You're going to be totally honest and authentic. Choose something that affects a huge portion of the business. If you can get it to affect as much as the business as possible, you're on board to a successful differentiating statement. Now, lastly, you are going to test your statement.